Annie Bergeron-Oliver has been digging into this. She joins us now with more details from Ottawa. Annie, so tell us what you're learning about this announcement coming from the Prime Minister tomorrow about these new projects.
Hi, Marcia. Well, the Prime Minister has already announced 5 projects that are going to be potentially fast-tracked through this major projects office. And tomorrow in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, he's expected to announce the second tranche of projects. This is something he promised to do before the Grey Cup, which is this weekend. So as you pointed out in that graphic, we've learned through sources about 4 of the projects he's expected to talk about tomorrow. One of them is a mine for critical minerals just north of Timmins. There's also another mine in New Brunswick. There's a hydroelectric dam in Iqaluit, as well as the Sil-Isms LNG export terminal in British Columbia. So these are the 4 projects that the Prime Minister is expected to talk about tomorrow. And so sort of what does this all mean? What's the goal here? Well, the Major Projects Office was set up in August with the goal of streamlining the regulatory and approval process by highlighting certain projects and being able to bring together experts, bring together a regulatory process through one kind of point person, one point office, and take these projects and move them along. And so the goal is really, once a project has been deemed in the national interest, which is something that Cabinet has to do, that you get a decision within 2 years. And so that's streamlining the process. And the goal here is, if you look at the budget, the Prime Minister has really made an effort to get more of these energy and resource projects approved, to get minerals out of the ground, and to start exporting these products to non-U.S. markets. So the goal is to really get these out of the ground, get construction fast started as quickly as possible, which will help create jobs, will increase exports, and ultimately help the Canadian economy, Marcia.
And there are some challenges for these projects, many saying that they will overstep treaty rights. So talk to us about the opposition that these projects will likely face, potentially face.
Well, the government is able to do this because of Bill C-5, which passed earlier this year. And essentially, it gives the government the ability to approve projects that it deems to be in the national interest. And there was concern from environmental groups and First Nation groups who felt like environmental rights and treaty rights would just be stepped over during this approval process. And, you know, it's important to point out that a number of these projects have been in the works already for years. And a lot of them, or several of them anyway, are already facing challenges, both legal challenges or just backlash to the projects. For example, if you look at the Sil-Isms project in British Columbia, it is supported by one First Nations group. However, there are 2 separate court challenges currently underway by 2 separate First Nations saying that they don't think this is good for the environment. And in one case, they say that they believe that this project steps on their treaty rights.
Annie, thank you for all of that. Annie Bergeron-Oliver joining us from the Bureau this morning. And